Do you guys, well, here's the next question, I'm sorry, and I think we're starting with, I'm sorry, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. My apologies, I'm from New York. Starting with Mr. Copeland. Do you, any of you have a strong working relationship with other elected officials within the district?
Absolutely. Through my responsibilities with the South Fulton Democratic Committee and the 13th Congressional District Caucus, I have extremely strong relationships with a lot of elected officials throughout the state, but particularly in the district. Anywhere from state reps, state senators, city council members such as Ed Johnson down in Fayette, which is the first African American city councilman elected down in Fayetteville. Joe Carn in College Park. You know, these are people that I've worked really close with over the years. I consider a lot of them friends, and some of them just people that are associates that I work with. But throughout the years, I've formed strong relationships with these people. Really, that's one of my. I think that's one of my strong points. That once elected, I can hit the ground running because from in the legislature, I know how it works, and I work closely with them. And then with the city council, I know so many of them and work with them and have a great respect for them. That I feel like I'll be highly effective with, listening to what they need and bringing that to the legislature.
Ms. Pritchett.
Yes, I have a strong working relationship with my current senator, Senator Don Zilla James, and I also have a working relationship with the new coming senator, Senator Vincent Ford. I also have relationships with many of the state representatives, Tyrone Brooks, with Gavia, which is the Georgia Association of Georgia Association of Black Elected Officials. I also have a working relationship and endorsement from Representative Pedro Marin, who is a member of the Latino caucus. I also have relationships with Representative Kendrick, Representative Mitchell on the issues of foreclosure. I've spent the last 2 years at the Capitol sitting in on the legislative sessions, sitting in on the judiciary meetings, on the working families meetings, you name it, I've been there. So I also feel that I will hit the ground running because I'm very familiar how things work down at the Capitol.
Yes, I have several relationships. Of course, my background being an attorney, and we're at the Capitol, that's what everyone's doing down there is writing laws. So I know a lot of people down there. And of course, the biggest one that most people might know in this room is State Representative Virgil Flood, who represented probably 40% of this new district, and he has endorsed me. And I know Virgil Flood very well. And I know Senator Jason Carter, who was actually my classmate. You all know he's President Carter's grandson. We went through law school together, so we have a very good working relationship. And there's a lot of others, Stacey Evans, we went to law school together. So a lot of people that are already at the Capitol, I know these people and I've spoken with them, and issues have come up, and they ask for my input as a trial attorney and just a person out in the community. And glad to be there for them and help them out, and even be happier when I'm actually next to them side by side fighting for you at the Golden Dome.
Excuse me 1 second. I gotta go. I know all three of them very well too, and I know they didn't want to throw that out because they don't know which one I'm getting. But they're all good people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm headed over to the school board meeting, but I just wanted to.
Thanks for representing us. I will say this, I was going to wait to the end, but I will say this, as a person who's covered politics in this state for about 5 or 6 years now and been interested in it since I've been here over 13 years, I will say you guys as residents are very lucky because this is the first time I've seen 3 kind of really, really good candidates all in one spot. So, I will give you that. It's usually 2 bums out of the 3.
And none of them have been in politics before, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you guys, as residents, have very good choices to make. Let's skip to education, if we will. Currently, the last legislative session, there was a heated fight between, with the Republican Party and the Democrats over charter schools. As a matter of fact, Representative and some a law that she got to change, Constitution change, Alicia Thomas Morgan, very historical time, got the Georgia Constitution changed. What do you guys feel about charter schools and that legislation, and how would you have voted for that legislation had it come up, what had you been in office at that time and had a chance to vote on? We'll start with ladies first, Ms. Pritchett.
Thank you. That was House Bill 1162, with the charter school bill. And I think that charter schools are good. Actually, my children attend charter schools. However, the difference is that my children attend a county charter school. And the difference in the funding is that the county would be able to start their own charter schools versus what that legislation called for was giving power to the state to override the school boards and start charter schools. Before we go trying to grow a charter system, we have to fix what we have going on internally. We're like ranked 49th in the nation in education, and we're not doing as well as we think we are based on the results. So I am not against charter schools at all, but if I had written legislation, charter schools would be an alternative option. And also charter schools this is an introduction into the voucher system. And right now vouchers are currently available for students that have IEPs, that have issues with learning disabilities, IEPs. And I'd like to keep it that way, and basically I don't think that the bill is bad in its entirety, but I cannot agree with all of the bill.
So you would have voted no?
I would have had to, well, I actually was there during the vote, and even my own state representative, Virgil Flood, he didn't even vote, because it was such a complicated issue. So I can't say that I would have voted no, because he probably sat in on more hearings and heard more testimony than I did. So I don't want to jump the gun and say no, because I don't really have all the facts.
So would you have voted yes?
I don't think I would have voted. I don't know exactly what I would have voted based on the fact that I don't have all of the facts.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Mabra?
I can tell you right now, just giving you my background, that I would have voted against charter schools, and let me tell you why. I don't have anything against charter schools, but you have to see what my background is. I'm public school trained all the way, K through 12, and then Georgia Tech is a public educational school system, and the University of Georgia. Those are all public education. So my parents couldn't afford to send me to private school, and charter school is not a private school, but where you start taking resources away from public schools. And I'm for local control, and I'm for local school teachers. And just in doing this, you have to make sure that once again you're balancing the budget. You have to make sure they're getting all the resources they need. Competition is good. The private schools set an example. Well, we should be able to hit those marks. Public schools do work. And it does work in District 63. I attended all of them myself, and so here I am. The proof is in the pudding. So don't tell me when I get to the Capitol that public schools don't work. I'm living proof. So yes, we might have to change and do some things differently, but I would have voted no. I'm not taking resources from our school teachers that are out there busting their butt every day and from our schools. And just to let you know, with charter schools, the other issue it has, you have a wait list. So say it does get good. Now everybody can't go. Now there's not a wait list in my book for getting a great education.
I just wanted to ask Ms. Pritchett, did you want to say anything in rebuttal to
Actually, I do.
I was going to say if we could let TJ answer. And
let him answer, okay. And then we'll give a rebuttal.
I would definitely say I would have voted no on that legislation. I think it's horrible legislation. I think it's an attack on our public school systems. As Ms. Pritchett was saying, we have a system. We have a public education system. And until we do everything we can to better that system, we have no business looking at other alternatives, other competition factors. Personally, I have seen where charter schools have done more harm to the education of a child and to the teacher. I've seen it many times. Dunwoody Springs is a charter school, and within that school, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with a charter school, it's basically a system where they are allowed to enact different rules from than the standard public education policies. And say, particularly up at Dunwoody Springs Charter School from Fulton County, I've seen where children have been kicked out of school because their parents didn't do enough volunteer hours. To me, that's horrific. How do you kick a child out of school, a child that